Megan had been working at the Oakwood Grill for over 2 years. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but it paid the bills, and she loved the atmosphere of the small family-owned restaurant. She was a hard worker, always going above and beyond for the customers, and her friendly demeanor and ability to remember the smallest details made her one of the best waitresses in the place. On a busy Saturday afternoon, Megan was working the lunch rush, balancing a tray full of drinks and keeping an eye on her section. The restaurant was buzzing with energy. Families, couples, and business professionals all crammed into the warm, inviting space. As usual, Megan moved between tables with ease, exchanging pleasantries and making sure everything was just right. Then, she noticed a commotion at one of the tables. A young family, mom, dad, and their young son, were seated near the corner, and the little boy was making a strange sound. It started as a cough, but quickly escalated into frantic gasping for air. Megan's heart skipped a beat as she rushed toward them. "Oh my God, he's choking!" the mother screamed, her face pale with panic. Megan didn't hesitate. She had taken a first aid course when she started working at Oakwood Grill, but she had never been in a situation like this before. She was trained to help, but it was always different when it was real. The mother was frozen, unable to react in time. Megan grabbed the boy, pulling him out of his seat with practiced ease and flipping him over her arm. She gave him several quick, forceful back blows between his shoulder blades. The room fell silent as everyone watched in tense anticipation. After the third blow, the boy let out a small gasp and began to cough violently. Megan kept her calm, gently turning him around and kneeling down to make sure he was breathing again. He was still a little shaken, but his color was returning to normal, and he was able to take shallow breaths. The mother, her hands trembling, hugged her son tightly. "Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much." Megan smiled, trying to hide her own relief. "It's okay. He's going to be fine." The boy, still coughing but much better, looked up at Megan with wide eyes. "Thank you, miss," he said, his voice small but grateful. Megan patted his back gently. "You're very welcome, sweetheart. Just take it easy for a minute, okay?" The father, who had been too stunned to react at first, now stood up and put his hand on Megan's shoulder. "That was amazing," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "You saved our son. I don't know how to thank you." "It's my job," Megan said, modestly brushing it off. "Just doing what I'm trained to do." The family seemed to settle down, and the mother held her son, whispering reassurances as he regained his composure. Megan stood back for a moment, checking to make sure they were okay before moving on to her other tables. The shift was far from over, and there was still a lot of work to be done. After the excitement settled, Megan went back to her section, her mind still racing. The boy's choking incident had shaken her, and even though she had remained calm in the moment, her heart was still pounding in her chest. She had never had to act so quickly before, and it felt like a blur of adrenaline and instinct. She focused on her work, making sure every table was attended to, but the boy and his family lingered in her mind. It wasn't until her break that she had a chance to sit down and process what had happened. She grabbed a cup of coffee in the back and sat in the small break room, trying to steady her breath. She couldn't help but replay the incident in her mind, the fear in the mother's eyes, the frantic choking noises, and how she had responded without thinking. Megan wasn't one to seek attention, but something about the way that family had looked at her. It felt like she had done more than just save a life. She had made a real difference. As she sat there, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a text from her mom. Megan smiled at the message, but before she could respond, there was a knock at the break room door. "Megan?" She looked up to see one of the managers standing in the doorway, a serious look on her face. "We need you up front. There's someone here to see you." "Who?" Megan asked, puzzled. "You'll see. Just come with me." Megan followed the manager to the front of the restaurant, where a tall man in a sharp suit was waiting near the host's stand. He looked like he belonged in a high-end business meeting, not a cozy family restaurant like Oakwood Grill. The man's serious expression softened when he saw Megan approach. "Excuse me, "Are you Megan?" he asked, his voice calm but with an undertone of authority. Megan nodded, still unsure of what was going on. "Yes, that's me. How can I help you? How can—" The man extended his hand. "My name is Samuel Pierce. I'm the CEO of Pierce Industries, and I believe I owe you a very big thank you." Megan's brow furrowed. "I'm sorry. I don't understand. Thank you for what?" He smiled, a small chuckle escaping him. "I'm the father of the little boy you helped today. My son, Jacob. You saved his life. You were incredible." Megan blinked in surprise. "Oh, you're Jacob's father? I didn't realize—" Samuel nodded, his smile warm. "Yes, that's right. You see, we were just having lunch when the accident happened. And I'll admit, I didn't think he'd be able to breathe again. But you acted so quickly. You were calm, and you knew exactly what to do." Megan felt a little awkward but grateful for his kind words. "It's all part of my training. I just did what I had to do." Samuel looked at her with a more intense expression. "No, Megan. What you did was extraordinary, and I want to repay you. What you might not know is that I'm in the process of expanding my company, and we're looking for someone with exactly your skills. Someone who can think on their feet, who can stay calm in a crisis. I've been so impressed with your quick thinking today." Megan's mind spun. "Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean?" "I mean," Samuel said, pausing for a moment, "I'd like to offer you an opportunity. I'm bringing you on as a senior manager for a new division of our company. We've been expanding our health and safety programs, and I believe your experience, your ability to act under pressure, would make you the perfect fit." Megan's heart skipped a beat. "You want to hire me? But I'm just a waitress." Samuel shook his head. "Megan, you saved my son's life today, and that's something money can't buy. You have the instincts and the drive to do great things. I want you to come work with me." Megan was speechless. The idea that a single moment, her quick thinking in a crisis, could lead to something like this was beyond her wildest dreams. Samuel had just offered her a life-altering opportunity, one she could never have imagined in her most hopeful fantasies. Over the next few weeks, Megan met with Samuel and the team at Pierce Industries. They discussed her role, her vision, and the company's plans for expansion. She was hired as a senior manager overseeing new health and safety protocols for the company, which included handling emergency situations just like the one she had dealt with that day. Megan's life began to change in ways she had never expected. The salary was more than she had ever dreamed of earning, and the responsibilities were challenging but rewarding. She found herself growing in confidence, taking on new challenges, and making a real difference in a world far bigger than the Oakwood Grill. As for Jacob, the young boy she had saved, he and his family visited Megan often, sometimes just for coffee and to thank her again. They became more than just the family she had helped. They became her friends. And as she looked back on the day that had started as an ordinary shift, Megan realized how one act of kindness, one moment of courage, had set her on a new path, one that was full of possibility and new beginnings.